Charlestown Chiefs. Brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, make your next move a power play with Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. First responders, veterans, doctors, nurses, teachers, and yes, Let's Go Blues Radio listeners get special rates. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com and score big today.
60 Pickleball is an industry leader in high-end pickleball paddles. Use discount code CPRICE10 to get 10% off at 60pickleball.com. Don't get stuck on the court with an inferior paddle. Go next level with 60.
Have you subscribed to the LGB Minute podcast yet? It's a 5-minute weekly St. Louis Blues podcast hosted by Jeff Ponder that is released multiple times a week to fill the gap between Let's Go Blues Radio episodes. Subscribe today.
So awesome, so handsome, so smart, you'll agree. Kurt, Jeff, and Bill are on TV. It's radio on TV. Oh yeah, it's radio on TV.
I feel like this should be the dance for that. Like there should be video of the three of us just going.
What's the name of that cartoon that the singing parrot love singing in the moon?
Oh yeah. Well, from St. Louis,
right? Yeah.
From St. Louis, I am Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by the dynamic Southern Illinois duo Kurt Price and Bill Day. We're bringing you the often imitated, never duplicated, the #1 hockey podcast in Uzbekistan, the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. This is the 3rd episode of season 15 and the 531st episode all time. The Let's Go Blues Minute is back and rolling, so find it wherever you get podcasts. It provides you with a daily look into the St. Louis Blues in a quick hit fashion, so make sure to hit that subscribe button to both the Let's Go Blues Minute and Let's Go Blues Radio. It is Tuesday, October 14th, and we're coming to you live. Tonight, we talk recent Blues games, a new Player of the Game award, Jimmy Snuggerud beginning his quest for the Calder, all that and more on this sweat-resistant episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. We are again joined by Kurt and Bill. Kurt, you missed last week, but if you didn't hear it, Bill Day actually said something that came true. Ryan Hartman would score 2 goals on the Blues.
Well,
this is why you tuned in for.
Well, yeah. And when he scored, I was like, of course, it's Hartman. Of course. Hate that guy.
Yep. 9 goals on Binnington in his career, apparently, too. So he's one of those guys that has Binnington's number. And, of course, it's one of the biggest douches in the league.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you know who didn't score on him?
Kyle Connor?
No, Connor Garland.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. And we've got the crowd, the peanut gallery is chiming in. Divide by 0. Oh, bye, Bill. See you later. We've got LGBR from Divide by 0. We've got Toronto's goal horn is atrocious from D Brown SS. And then Ace 6583 Rob, who was a new live listener last week. He says, let's go Blues. So, Rob, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back, Bill. What the heck was that?
Camera issues. Camera issues.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with here.
Well, you look great.
I know it's not picking up the right cam, so I'm gonna mess around with this while you guys do the intro stuff.
Sounds wonderful. All right. Well, as I said, we've got the Let's Go Blues Minute back. We've recorded a couple episodes already this week, so next week you can expect more of the same. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Let's go ahead and move into beers of the episode. Official beers of episode number 531. Make sure you follow each of us on the Untapped app. You can find me at jponder94. Kurt is at cprice12, and Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. Kurt, I will start. And I love being this silly little monkey.
Minx.
Yes, tonight out of my Cardinals glass, Thank God their season's over. I am drinking one of my favorites. You know what? I poured the wrong one first, but that's okay. O'Fallon pumpkin beer from our friends at Urban Chestnut, re-releasing it. Beautiful stuff. My official beer of the episode, as I put on X, is the Sam Adams Oktoberfest. That is a great beer as well. If you've not had it, I think it's Sam Adams' best.
Speaking of
that's both my beers.
Speaking of baseball, the O'Fallon pumpkin beer by Urban Chestnut is kind of like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
It very much is. It's got the same
two different locations in the same in the same name.
Oh, there you go.
I can tell you were confused there for a second, Jeff.
I thought you were.
You picked up
I was trying to think, like, is he making a reference to how awful the Angels are and how like O'Fallon beer went away for a year? Like, I was going too deep with it. My bad.
No, you were overthinking it, as usual. That's
what I do. Curtis, what are you drinking tonight, sir?
I don't. You're not feeling well, and you're still down in the alcohol. I've got flavored water in my insulated mug.
No, you're drinking tears of your pickleball opponent.
Tears of my pickleball opponents, which there are many of from this past weekend when my partner and I won gold on Saturday. So
nice.
Oh, cheers! I walked around collecting them all as we beat them.
Oh, lovely! I'm sure they all love that.
Salty.
Yeah, This was a game time decision for me to drink beer. I was not going to drink any tonight, but as I was going to grab something else, I thought, you know what? I haven't drank in a while, since the last show. So I thought, why not? I'm feeling a little better today.
Okay. Glad to hear it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phil, what do you got tonight?
I too am not drinking. I'm pretty sure I'll be back to it next week. Mine's got a color similar to yours, but it's an illusion. It's cranberry ginger ale. So
ooh, fancy.
I did tonight. I was telling you guys before the show. I did try non-alcoholic beer from Athletic, and not my thing. Not my thing. So I will. I should be back off the wagon next week.
Good. I'll be sure to welcome you back.
What was it? A sitcom, or where they debated or was it on this show? I can't remember. They debated whether what off the wagon, whether it was off the wagon or on the wagon, meant whether you had started drinking when you were trying to stop.
I think we have had that.
Was that us?
That conversation.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of like a sitcom,
I guess. But yeah, that was
we're radio on TV.
Radio on TV. Hey, I was also thinking earlier today, by the way, that Chris Kerber and Joey Vitale, they've been doing the simulcast now, which, we'll talk about maybe a little bit later. But I was thinking, I'm like, I'm surprised they haven't reached out to us because we're basically doing the same thing, right? We record for TV, but we're also making sure that our podcast audience, can follow along. So clearly, we're just as professional as Joey and Curbs.
Well, we could. I mean, we have lots of advice we could give.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to reach out.
Just a wealth of knowledge over here.
I know.
Get an invite to the broadcast booth or something.
Well, I mean, we should invite them to our broadcast booth. Let them see how it's done.
Yeah,
right. Ace, Ace, if you're going to start tuning in, we need to come up with a better name for you. Let's just call you Ace. How about that?
This question is his subtle way of moving the show along.
Yes, it is. When you get to questions, mine is, has anyone missed Torpchenko? And I like him, but IMO, he is expendable at deadline.
Talking deadline already.
First of all, getting to questions, that's anytime. Just bring them on whenever you want to ask. We'll completely stop what we're doing most times because we are basically the poster children for ADHD. But for this one, I like Torpchenko. He's a very good fourth liner in the NHL. But I mean, I kind of see your point. The Blues do have some good fourth line talent now, and if he's expendable, then maybe they do move him at the deadline. But I do think that he fits that type of player that Doug Armstrong likes to bring on his fourth line. So I do think he'll be here a little bit longer. Plus, he's homegrown.
Yeah, so hard to say that right now. A period and a half of really good hockey, or I'm sorry, 4 periods of really good hockey is what we've got right now, I think, or 4.5, if you will. And the last, they've been awesome. The bottom 6 has looked locked, but long term, you're going to need Torpo in there banging bodies and causing havoc. Those guys,
And
they all get run down. So
if we're talking deadline, I mean, what are you going to get for Torpchenko? Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, 4th round pick
True.
maybe or something. 3rd round pick.
Yeah, you're not getting much. I mean, unless he's part of a bigger package.
Right.
And then we've got Joe Schmo, Snuggie. What did I miss? Yeah, you didn't miss much. We're getting a Snuggie here soon. All right. Well, we did beers of the episode. Let's move into our first little story here before we take a break. The Blues have adopted a new Player of the Game award. Bernie Federko's game-used stick from his 1,000th game. This is the type of thing we've seen from the Blues before. They've kind of adopted this whole thing the last couple of years of using old school players. You see like remember the hot dog hat they had. We've always seen the hard hats that we've seen, teams do. The Blues have kind of adopted this. Let's kind of look into our archives and see what we can find. So they've used Bobby Player's original gloves, Keith Tkachuk's old school Yofa helmet, and Kelly Chase's original shoulder pads. And Federko's stick is actually a wooden Titan TPM 2020. Did you guys ever use a Titan? I used to love those sticks as a kid.
I had a wooden Titan.
So
me too.
That was the stick I had as an out player before I converted to goalie. And I shared an image of several goalie sticks last night, and there was a Titan in the middle. It's the only one I didn't own out of that group. So,
oh wow!
I had my very first real hockey stick was a what was the model? It was a white Titan with a red print.
Yep.
Yep. That's done. And so I think this is really cool. I mean, I love this, kind of hearkening back to the old days, especially guys that are still involved in the game. Plager, obviously, when he was still with us, he was, and Tkachuk, Kelly Chase, we still see those guys around Blues games. And then obviously Bernie now is on the broadcast and he's all over Blues coverage. And it's just, and I guess I should say friend of the show, Bernie Federko.
That rhymes.
But it does. Yeah, and I thought this was cool, and it was funny because I don't know if you guys saw the story that they posted on the Blues website, but I guess Shen went and asked Federko, "What do you have that we could use? We want to use something of yours." And his response was, "I don't have a lot from my past, but I could probably dig something out." And I'm like, "How do you not have anything from your past?" Like, I don't know. For me as a player, I've never made it anywhere, and I've got a bunch of my old equipment still, just because I think it's cool to be like, oh yeah, I used that stick when I won that shootout in 1997. I still have like weird stuff like that everywhere.
To be honest, I mean, a guy like Federko probably has, if he were to do that, he would have a warehouse full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably, after a while, it's probably like, you know what? I mean, there's just so much stuff I could be keeping and just try to no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's probably true.
And I guess if you have the success that Federko did, Hall of Fame and everything, it's like, some of his other stuff might seem, kind of menial. I don't know.
We got a question here from Joe Schmo. Anyone used league versions of high-end sticks? I mean, do you just mean like the top-end sticks?
Yeah, because that's...
Yeah, I mean,
like the same model, right?
You have Ryan Suter sticks, right?
I have 2 of Ryan Suter sticks because I got one at one of those what do they call those, the Clubhouse Reserve or whatever. I got one there and I loved it. So when I went to the garage sale this summer, I got another one. So yeah, I typically lately have been playing with the higher end player sticks, and you do notice a difference. It is so much better.
Back in the day, when sticks were more affordable, I had not the Brett Hull version of I had Brett Hull's classic silver Easton with the green print. I had the silver with the blue print, but I had a Z bubble, and you saw Z bubbles all over the NHL at that time.
Oh yeah.
So, and the Z Bubble was probably my favorite stick of all time. That and the
Great
blue and
stick.
silver, the blue and silver Easton.
Yeah, the Easton Synergies were also really nice sticks too.
Yep, the same time as the Z Bubble, about the same time. Yeah.
Fun fact. So, and Bill, one of our new teammates, his name's Ryan. So he had to go. So for H&A, you have to basically go to this like tryout type skate. They call them evaluations, just to make sure you're not, some
Ringer.
superstar dude, ringer going into a really low end league. So this guy apparently has only played, very sparingly since high school. It's a guy I went to school with, and he was pretty good back in the day, but he's only played, like his friends will be like, hey, we're getting a rink time together, let's go. And so he'll, he said he's only played a couple times the last couple of years. He said he went into Pure Hockey and asked where their Easton sticks were. And apparently the kid even laughed at him. He's like, oh, that's pretty funny. And he's like, no, where's the Easton sticks? And he's like, Easton hasn't been around in like 10 years, dude.
That's sad.
Mm.
That's sad. I was an Easton guy. I mean, Easton sticks. That's what I used for a long time.
I think the correct answer, though, would have been play it again.
Yeah,
Right.
I did tell him that. I'm like, if you really want to try Easton, go on to Sideline Swap or try Play It Again. So that's really the only place you'll find them. eBay too. Yeah.
Yeah, eBay for sure.
All right. Well, I think we'll take a quick break here, everybody. And when we come back, we'll talk about the previous games here the Blues have played with a real bad loss in the home opener, but then they picked it back up on their West Coast Canadian swing. We'll be right back after you hear from our excellent sponsors. Don't go anywhere.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every hockey team needs that clutch player who knows when to pass, when to shoot, and when to take charge. In real estate, that superstar is Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. Whether you're buying your first home or selling your current one, Mike skates circles around the competition with his knowledge, hustle, and down-to-earth approach. And here's the real zone ability. If you're a first responder, veteran, doctor, nurse, teacher, or even just a loyal Let's Go Blues radio listener, you'll score special rates when you work with Mike. Got questions? Fire them at him. He'll answer quicker than Bill Day's glove hand. Obstacles in your way? He'll plow through them harder than I would in a goalmouth scramble. And when it comes time to close, he'll put it in the back of the net faster than a Kurt Price shot from the slot. So don't just settle for an ordinary realtor. Get the MVP on your side. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today. Mike Burgoyne, the real estate teammate you can always count on.
The battle for the top spot in the league is on the line. Many warriors have entered the concrete jungle, but when the smoke clears, only one will remain. They all want it, but only one shall have it. Hide your children, lock your doors. Those with weak stomachs should almost certainly look away. This is Big Boy Pickleball. You have been warned.
Already know that you love hockey and you obviously already love the Let's Go Blues Radio podcast, but what about filling the gap between weekly Let's Go Blues Radio episodes? That's where the LGB Minute comes in. Hosted by Jeff Ponder, the LGB Minute is an entertaining, down and dirty, 5-minute St. Louis Blues podcast released multiple times a week to keep you informed of all things St. Louis Blues. So make sure to subscribe to the LGB Minute anywhere you listen to podcasts, like right now. Do it now. Just click subscribe. It's easy. Please. Now.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
So I forgot to tell you, Bill, we did get some clarity on what we talked about last week. I did ask Kurt what 6-0 pickleball actually means. Kurt, please enlighten us.
Well, that they don't really say what it is, but there are ratings. The rating system in pickleball is, basically it kind of starts at 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, up to the pros. I think the top pros are over 7. So I think 6.0 might be leaning towards a rating system in pickleball. It's a very high level. But they don't really quite define that. But that's my guess as far as what it is.
It makes sense to me. That's better than the ideas Bill and I were coming up with last week.
I mean,
I said, what is that, like an important score in pickleball?
Oh, 6.0 is the logo is 6.0. So, but, yeah.
Well, if they wanted to score points with kids, they should just go 6-7, right?
Oh
God, Jesus Christ! This thing has come out of nowhere for me.
I knew I would set you
a couple of weeks ago. I had never heard of this thing. And is this like, how new is this? How long has this been around?
A couple months. I started hearing about it at the end of last school year.
Okay, because Amy asked me about it, and I was like, I had never heard of it, and it's going around her school she works at, and apparently it's annoying the hell out of everybody, and no one can really define it. It's kind of nonsensical in a way.
No, there's really no rhyme or reason behind it.
If you hear 6-7, like what time will be there? Oh, 6-7. And then 6-7. What is that? What is that's so stupid?
I don't get it. So I spent a lot of time with my nephews this weekend, and every single time I wanted to, like, they would call me bro or whatever, because that's a big thing too. I'll just go, oh yeah, 6-7, bro. And they're like, "You're making it not cool." And I'm like, "I know."
That's my point here.
That's what Amy said. Some of the staff at her school, they were going to try and kill it by embracing it as the adults, and in Halloween dressing up as 6-7 and whatnot. But they said that they, I think one morning over the announcements, on purpose, they said something about 6-7 over the announcements of the PA in each classroom, and then you could hear, like, muffled, like 6-7s from students in the classrooms throughout the school. So weird.
I don't get it. It makes no sense, but whatever. And I think about it, I'm like, we did dumb stuff when we were kids too, trying to confuse adults. And it is kind of fun being on the other side of it now. Because now I'm like, I'm gonna totally stymie this, because I'm gonna embrace it and make it seem like this is part of my everyday vernacular.
You know what? Try watching Dirty Dancing as an adult. Because all of a sudden the parents become like the parents are like, yes, she shouldn't be hanging around with this guy that's 20 years older than she is at this summer resort. It's like, what the hell's going on? No, this is not going to happen.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've actually not watched it as an adult. I've heard that from other people. All right, well, let's get into it. So the home opener, that was not a fun night. Bill and I were both very stoked about this last week, and it fell on its face. I do love the thought that, we were all excited about the refreshed goal celebration, and we didn't get to see it. So we will have to wait until hopefully tomorrow night to see what this refreshed goal celebration is. But what a stinker that home opener was.
So if they don't score tomorrow night, we start the conspiracy theory that the players just absolutely hate it and refuse to set it off.
Yeah, we're not doing it. We refuse.
This game, obviously, right, when the Blues were peppering the net in the second period, they couldn't score. And you're down 2-0, and you're all over Minnesota for a while in the second. You can't score. And then they score on their first shot. Like, I don't know how long in the period it was. It was quite a ways in the second period. And it's like, you've got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. Because I think, didn't it just come after a Blues power play that faltered or something, or a lot of pressure? Blues had tons of pressure, and they couldn't score. And then all of a sudden Minnesota comes down and scores 3-0. And then that's like, oh, that's the way that this is one of those games.
And again, of all people, it was Hartman that scored the first goal too.
He's Blues killer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
that play though was like, I mean that's like rec league hockey in the first game of the NHL for both of these teams this year, and he pulls that shit out. Like, even more reason to hate you and hope somebody plasters your face.
Well, and it was just awful by the Blues. I mean, Logan Mailloux in one of his first appearances as a Blue tries to knock the puck down at center and literally knocks it right to, I think it was Hartman, like just gives it to him. And it's like, okay. And then Dylan Holloway goes in for the flyby poke and he misses it, leaves Hartman all alone. He comes in and dekes out Binnington. That was a play where I'm like, okay, let's tighten this up. And unfortunately, they scored about 2 minutes later to make it 2-0 going into the first intermission.
Like it or not, and fair or not, the microscope is going to be on Mailloux a little bit more than most young players, just because of trading Bolduc and a lot of fans
going 3 for 3 in his first 3 games.
Yeah,
he looks great on Montreal.
Yeah, so it's not really fair to Mailloux, but just the way it is. It is the way it is. You're gonna and not necessarily. It's not fair to compare the two, but you're gonna do it. Right. But it's just Mailloux's play alone. He first 2 games he didn't look very good out there. And it's
hockey stat card. He and Tucker worst 2 players in the first 2 games.
Yeah. So I mean. And he's a young player. Upsides, ceiling's pretty high. I mean, I guess ceiling could be. You consider the ceiling, decent with him. So if he hits the ceiling, that's a win for the Blues. If he falls short of it, then I don't know. We'll see. But we talked about this before. This trade is not going to be really. It's not going to be fair to evaluate this trade fully from the Blues standpoint for at least a couple of years.
Yeah, and let's face it too. We jumped the gun pretty quick on the O'Reilly trade. I think I will still say we won that trade. But also looking at what Tage Thompson has done for the Sabres, even though the Sabres are terrible, he has been really good. And we thought at the time, like, yeah, Tage Thompson will be, maybe like a 30-goal guy, and that's about it. He's been a little bit more than that. He's been excellent for Buffalo when he's playing, when he's not hurt. So I would say I understand when Sabres fans say now, it was an even trade. I still say Blues won because they win the cup with a Conn Smythe winner that they got in that trade. But I get that. This one, it's kind of similar to the sense the other way, where Montreal looks like the winner flat out. I mean, easy right now. 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, it might completely flop, and it might be Bolduc has leveled out as a 20-goal scorer, and Logan Mailloux just won the Norris Trophy. I mean, we don't know. So for me, I'm not jumping the gun on that trade evaluation yet, and I'm still very hopeful that Mailloux will pick it back up.
If Buffalo were to trade Tage Thompson for O'Reilly today, and that would bring them a cup this season, do you think, I mean, obviously, the Sabres would make that trade. Would they not? Obviously, they would.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't that? So they would. Why would you would never make a trade that that you would lose, right? So winning a cup. I mean, the whole point of making trades is to make your team better and hopefully down the road win a cup. That's the whole goal. So the Blues did that. They won that trade. And whatever happens after that doesn't matter to me, unless Tage Thompson leads the Sabres to 2 cups. I think Thompson would have to lead the Sabres to a cup just to break even on the trade, personally. Yeah. Even though Thompson's had a lot more personal success as far as stats go than O'Reilly has since then.
Yep. We got a question in the chat here from Rowdy Lloyd. Love that name over on Facebook. He says, where can I find the link to order one of those Let's Go Blues radio jerseys? So there is no link. And I don't know, Kurt, maybe we should put a page up on the website. We should. That just popped in my head. So I will make that happen. But right now, if you just want to get in touch with me, and it's $45 for one of the sweet jerseys, the blue or the white.
$45?
That's it.
That's it.
And if you want to get both, it's only $85. So you're saving. Man. What is that math, Bill? Help me out here. So if it's 45 per jersey and we're only charging 85 for 2, how much are you saving?
What's the
$5
exchange rate?
milkshake.
$5.
What's the exchange rate? And is there tax involved? Are we talking Canadian dollars?
I don't know. But either way, so yeah, what you'll have to do is get in touch with me. You can email me at jponder94@gmail.com, or you can just reach out to me anywhere on social media, whether the LGB radio pages or if you just want to comment on the show that you're watching right now, that's fine too. We'll get in touch with you and we'll make it happen. So we are starting an order right now. We have the white and the blue jerseys. So yes, very excited to make another order because it's nice to see those out in the wild. I think I told you guys that I went to a tournament, last February, and I saw a guy in net, and it was my friend Josh. I didn't realize he was playing, and I just saw the Let's Go Blues radio jersey on the rink, and I'm like, what? That's incredible. And I was like, oh, it's Josh. But still, it was really cool to see it.
$45. That's Temu prices.
That is Temu prices. Well, anyway, so yeah, this game, unfortunate loss, but did you guys see the new opening sequence they did? Bill, we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the more rock inspired opening?
I will say this about it. I think a lot of people liked it. However, I was left wondering if it was if it was made for the band or if it was made for the team. Because there is like no game clips or anything in the footage.
Right. You get
it's all
players
just band.
Right. It's the band and then the players flexing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right. But
There's
no
no
actual hockey action.
hockey action. No actual big goals in team history or whatever. It's just just players sitting there in the photo studio kind of screaming with the band. I mean. It was cool, but I was like, all right, where's the game footage? Because that's what gets me going. The music with the game footage, that's what it's all about, right? The game. So I don't know, but it was good. It just I thought it was missing actual game footage.
Right, work in some St. Patrick's Day Massacre if you're gonna play.
Ooh.
Oh my God,
Ozzy, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
No, the Ozzy tie-in was cool, and the notice in the background of the clip was the mugshot for.
Yeah, that was cool.
And there were a couple Easter eggs in there. The KC poster, the vintage orange KC poster.
That was cool.
Love that. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. I think if I were a season ticket holder, I would probably be done with it 5-10 games. I think that's how I kind of judge that. Like, what is the lasting impact on these? But I'm not that. So I will be happy to see it live in person.
Did you like it, Jeff?
I did. And I agree with you guys. The hockey footage was definitely, it was very obvious that it was missing. I feel like, well, they said that they did it in collaboration with KC because they came in at the same time in 1967. And they also said they used some German video production company. Yeah. And so to me, it was clear that these are not hockey fans that made this video. It was real. I do think it was really well done. I do enjoy it, and I love the song. But yeah, I agree. There need to be a little bit more, roofing shots over other goalies. Jordan Binnington making ridiculous saves. I mean, even give us stuff
going
like,
crazy.
Give us stuff like Binnington when he went nuts against Minnesota and he's like trying to pump the crowd up. Give us something like that too.
Yeah.
Like that was definitely missing in it. But I did enjoy it. And Bill, we talked about last week. They used the symphony last year, which was really cool too. So this was a nice alternative, and I use that kind of as a pun, that they brought in some rock music, and I did really enjoy it. I get to see it live tomorrow night, so I'll tell you guys what it's like in the arena after that.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week. That it's definitely a Jim Montgomery. It's got his fingerprints all over it.
That's true.
Yeah, for sure. So back on this game real quick, Jonas Gustafsson in goal makes 26 saves. And slowly becoming a Blues killer. He's becoming the Pecorine for the Blues recently, the Ed Belfour type guy that it's almost like the Blues don't know how to solve him. And yeah, it's a little concerning because Minnesota could easily be a team the Blues play in the playoffs, but hopefully we get another crack at him, guys. I mean, with these division rivalries, it's great. We saw him for opening night. We get to see him real soon, March 1st.
Yeah.
So that's excellent.
The fact that we only play them 3 times is just absurd.
Absolutely absurd.
Every year I complain about this bullshit every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That said, are the Blues going to face the Wild? Because they have sucked since they left St. Louis.
So
Ooh.
do you know, I said this on the Let's Go Blues Minute, smash that subscribe button today, that apparently if you look at the Wild have played the Blue Jackets and the Kings since they left St. Louis. They have not scored a regulation goal since they were in St. Louis. Their last goal, who was it? Marco Rossi scored at 7:27 of the third period. They've scored 7 goals since then, and they're all on the power play.
And they have not scored a goal tonight in Dallas. So
there you go.
They are getting shut out 3-0.
So basically, you play them. It sounds like the number on them is like the Boston Bruins of 2019. You just play disciplined against them, and they won't score on you.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got a couple other comments here. Rowdy Lloyd chimes back in. I'm going to the game tomorrow. Can't wait. There was some question about, let's see. Where is it? Ace jumps in. Does Monty use Hofer against Chicago and save Binner for Dallas or Binner for both? Justin Scott, our friend, responds, Binner can play both games realistically. And and then D Brown SS says Binner can play both. So we'll see. It's always a question mark with this team.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to rotate, it's Hofer's turn. Chicago's the weaker team. Not that it's not a knock on Hofer or whatever, but Dallas is a stronger team. If you're going to put your number one against tougher teams, then it makes sense to go back and forth with Hofer on Wednesday and Binnington on Saturday. But with the way Hofer played in the second game of the season, I thought he was.
I honestly, and we'll get to this. I was kind of hoping we'd see Hofer against Vancouver.
Yeah. I that's exactly what I was going to say. Joel Hofer may have been not just made 4 of the best saves you're going to see all season in 10 minutes in the second period of that game. He may have saved the Blues season from getting off to a really, really bad start with that performance. He held that team in that game so well, single-handedly, up until the 11-minute mark or 8-minute mark, or 8 minutes left in the second period of that game. He was by far the best player on the ice. And then Jake Neighbours took over.
Yeah.
But
so
Hofer at that point was by far the best Blues goalie that we've seen. Small sample size?
Very small.
Yeah. But roll them out there, right? Roll them out there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And again, Binnington's your starter, but I agreed. I thought, man, after the way he played in Calgary, I feel like you just had to give him the net against Vancouver. But
I understand, but I mean, it's one game for your starter. Right. So I'm like, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. That's way too early to, I think, go play on that card. I think, but especially when they kind of had the idea of going more of a 50-50 split or close to it.
Anyway, but I was my thought process was more: you gave him Calgary, give him Vancouver, and then when you come home, give Binnington your division rivals. Give him Chicago and Dallas, and then after that, it's been 5 games. Let's reassess where we're at. Who gets the next start?
Yeah, I mean
that was kind of my thought.
That said, I think the result we saw, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, the result we saw last night was Hofer pushing Binnington to be better.
Yes,
and Binnington was a lot better,
and it might not make a difference this season. They might play. They might put up similar numbers. Who knows? I mean, it may not really make a huge difference. We may not have to talk about it quite as much this year, as far as who's playing who. If they're playing, hopefully they're both playing well, and it might not, be a big deal who plays who.
So the Blues did bounce back after that horrible loss against Minnesota. They played the Calgary Flames, won this one 4-2. You mentioned Bill. Jake Neighbours gets 2 goals in his hometown, and he's been a very big bright spot here for the Blues early on in the season. Robert Thomas added a goal and an assist, and Pius Suter gets his first goal as a Blue. Joel Hofer makes 27 saves.
Timeout.
Pius.
We need to set you straight. It is Pius Suter, not Pius.
Like the Cardinals reliever from the 80s.
Yes. Pius Suter. Bruce Pius Suter.
My problem is that yes, it is.
You
You're
read it
correct.
phonetically. Right?
It is really, I'm trying to think it phonetically in my head. And when I say that, there's like I guess that's what's called like a break, like a word break in the middle, but there isn't. You got to kind of say them together. And I and you typically in English do not make a sound together. So yes, Pius. Is that correct? Pius.
Or is it technically Pius? Is it Pius?
I think it's Pius.
Because is it Pius or Pius?
If you say it quickly, it is correct.
Okay,
because this is the key.
All right, Matt Harris, congratulations! You get our comment of the show.
But wait, is it?
I'm surrounded by assholes.
It is. He says it's Puce, not Puce. It spells it the same way. So
yes.
Very, very well done, Matt.
I'm sorry. I couldn't let us get too far into the season without stopping you and making sure
thank you.
We're all on the same page here.
It's funny because I've been saying, I've been trying to say it right, but then every time I read it as Pius, and I can't not say it like that. So maybe I need to start spelling it out differently, just release the I.
Like
or something.
the color. Isn't there a color? Puce?
Puce, yeah.
P-U-C-E.
This is a color.
Yeah.
Cardinals reliever. Just try and hammer that home. Bruce.
I'm starting to feel like Ted Lasso here. This word has lost all meaning. Puce.
Word's lost all meaning.
Okay, so again, Joel Hofer, 27 saves in this game, and it was a game that so Frank Coronado had 2 goals for the Flames in this one, and early on it was kind of back and forth, and then the Blues kind of turned it on in the second period, and feel like they started to really dominate more in the third period. And really took this game on their own 4-2. And again, Joel Hofer, without him in that second period, Blues are getting knocked 7-2. This would have been a barnstormer for Calgary if it wasn't for Joel Hofer. He made 2 ridiculous backdoor saves. Bill, we don't have video, but you did mention your save of the week would basically be all of this play in the second period. So if you have any commentary to add, please go ahead.
Yeah, so that beginning at, I think, the 18:08 mark on the clock to about the 8-minute mark on the clock, it was the Joel Hofer show. 4 incredible saves. 2 of them did come after clanks off the post, one of which was super impressive. The first one, super impressive because the goal light went on, and he didn't stop playing.
That goal light stayed on for a long time too.
Yeah,
turn that damn thing off.
Yeah, it's annoying as shit.
Because it was flashing.
Right, it's at Dasher level, so it's in everybody's business.
So, and if that goal light goes off when the puck's not, do you think and that wouldn't turn off? I think the officials will stop play. Say, hey, turn this off.
Yeah,
it's distraction.
You think, but they didn't. So off of that, the puck comes out, and they I went back and watched the Calgary broadcast, and it was, they don't even mention the 10-bell save on the rebound. He threw that pad out so quickly to reject it. It was just a thing of beauty. And then you had, like you mentioned, the 2 backdoor plays and the 1 massive glove save. Right. So the shoulder save, right? It went literally off the top of his trap. And it just, he was so dialed in. Probably the best stretch of goaltending that we've seen from a Blues goalie in the last several years. Dare I say, going back to Game 7 in 2019.
I thought you were going to say this is the best Blues goaltending we've seen all season.
Well, that goes without saying. I'm not that Mr. Obvious. But no, it was absolutely amazing. That period. And like I said before, to me, that could have saved the Blues from an 0-3 start, right? Because they looked flat.
Yeah.
And I also want to correct you on Coronado. Coronado had a goal and assist, and so did Tyler Tucker. Because Jesus, Tyler Tucker was like until he got the shot that Suter tipped in, right, everything he did was bad. I wrote in my notes, he's the cooler on this team, right? Everything he touches the puck and it goes bad. So he was awful. Hofer bailed him out.
I was surprised he did not get benched in this game. I guess at the end of the day, I'm glad he wasn't because his shot led to that Suter tip. But yeah, he was. This was a regression of Tyler Tucker. This was the first call up we ever saw him on. Like, whoa, he does not belong on NHL ice.
Yeah, so I think we're what we got to get used to is the growing pains with that bottom six. But I will say that the whole time I'm thinking, is Doug Armstrong and Steed on the phone trying to find out where Ryan Suter is now?
I was thinking the same thing.
Because it's like, what are you doing? Because we have two guys who have no idea what the hell they're doing right now. But I think that that they're gonna stick with it and just play through the learning curve. That's the best thing you can do with Mayu. We all know I've never been a huge Tyler Tucker fan. Maybe if this does continue, the trend going the wrong way, the team starts losing again. Maybe we see a Loof or Lindstein call up before too long.
I think
I think you might see Kessel jump in there too. I can see the Blues saying, I think I like what Rutherford said when he was on the show, that they're basically just going to let Mayu go. They've taken off the shackles and they've said, we're going to let you play and we're going to see what you can do. And I think that if he continues to kind of struggle, I don't think it's a matter of taking him out. I think it's a matter of taking Tucker out and trying him with somebody else.
Well, we did see a little bit of juggle in the Vancouver game that I thought worked.
I thought the Blues were a different team on a whole this season as soon as they scored. Up until they scored, and they brought that up on the broadcast, and I agree with it, that they inconsistent, frustrating play, can't convert, getting hemmed in, all that stuff, until they scored. And once they scored in the second, just over the halfway point in the game, I guess it was, they looked better against Calgary, and they looked really good in the third game. So I think there's something to be said for that. Early in the season, they played one full game, got shut out, and then halfway through the second game, they still haven't scored. So, getting on the board, mind game kind of a thing. Whether we're on the board, we could actually score. Yes, we can score goals. So here we go, and they scored another one right after that. So again, I'm not going to nitpick too much over what at that point was a game and a half of the season. So,
and I'll say that I was to kind of bring it into more positive light with this game, and then going into the Vancouver game, the tips in front the Blues have had this season so far, at least in these last two games, have been tremendous. I mean, there was a couple that was actually stopped, and I think it was almost, I don't want to say accidental, but just kind of good goalie placement by Dustin Wolf in this game. There was a couple tips that the Blues made that I'm like, that's a goal. That has to be a goal. But then Dustin Wolf came up big. But the Pius Suter, I will get it. His tip was tremendous and showed his skill. And we've obviously know what Jake Neighbours can do in front of the net. He's had some nice tips this season. So for me, getting a guy like a Mayu is somebody who can really drive the net. And what we've heard is really good at changing the angle and getting shots through. If you can do that with some of these guys that can unload bombs from the point. Get guys like Neighbours and Suter in front of the net that can make these tips. Blues are going to have a lot of success offensively.
Yeah, I think it'll be great to see with Mayu getting paired with other people, getting different minutes where he's got an opportunity to use those skills at the blue line instead of just in the defensive zone more often than not, and making really dumb pinches. I don't know.
Yep. You got to think it's early season jitters, new team, new structure. I think Mayu will round out a little bit, but again, I kind of like the approach that we think they're taking with, we're just going to play you and see what you can do, especially early in the season, and just let you kind of work out your kinks. And I think that's the way to go with a young guy like Mayu, who has proven to be a very solid AHL player. It's time to see what he can do at the NHL level and just kind of let him figure it out as he goes. And then we've got a couple notes from this game I wanted to mention before we move on. The Blues became the third team in NHL history with a point in its first road game of a season in 10 consecutive seasons. The Philadelphia Flyers also did it in 10 straight seasons from 2015 to 2025, and the Montreal Canadiens did it 11 times from 1963 to 1974. So once you're in that company with those Canadiens teams, that's pretty good company to be in. The Blues have also won 6 straight games in Calgary and are 9-1-0 in their past 10 games in Calgary. They have won 7 in a row against the Flames and are 11-1-0 in their last 12 games against them. So, Calgary fans, when they see St. Louis on the calendar, they're like, God damn it.
They're like our Phoenix,
yeah.
Right? When they were still in Phoenix, Arizona, I guess. We just could not.
We still kind of saw some struggles against Utah last year.
It was like, oh my God, these games are not fun to watch. I have no, except for Keller, right? And I was like, I don't really, and then the Blues just can't win these games. So, and that maybe that's what's going through Calgary's fans' minds.
Yep. Well, the last game the Blues played was against the Vancouver Canucks, as we've mentioned. They won this one 5-2 at Rogers Place Monday night. Jimmy Snuggerud scored his first ever 2-goal game. That's his first multi-goal game in NHL. He's played 10 games now in the NHL at the regular season level, and pretty good to score 2 goals that early on in your career. Kiefer Sherwood scored 2 goals for Vancouver. I think it's funny. They kept calling him last night fourth liner Kiefer Sherwood, which he is on their fourth line, but I think he had 19 goals last year. I'm like, can you really call this guy a fourth liner? I mean, to me, he's a guy that can kind of like I don't want to say Nathan Walker even, but somebody who can kind of bounce up and down your lineup. And I need to look up the stats, but I'm pretty sure he's had some success against the Blues.
And not to change the subject, but I was looking at, are you guys surprised that Snuggerud wasn't on the ice when the goalie was pulled?
I thought he was at the very start.
Maybe he was. No, he was on. He would hit. Yeah, I guess he was. I'm looking at the shift chart right now. He was on. He had 1 shift.
Yeah,
with the goalie pulled.
He should have probably had 1 more if they would have had a chance to put him out there at the end.
He was on from 57:23 to 57. He was on for 10 seconds.
Oh, is that it?
Probably got out there, stoppage and play, took him right off.
Oh, you know what? No, he did have 2 shifts. 1 10-second shift, yeah, and the other one was about 20 seconds. So not much. He wasn't out there very long.
Yeah, you got to think that's a veteran. He's probably getting out there a lot more.
Still,
like Jake Neighbours in Calgary.
Jake Neighbours, yeah, right.
Still,
yeah, Neighbours is out there for like 2 minutes of that pulled goalie.
I know, but still, he's going for a hat trick.
I'm with you. I mean, and the way he plays, he doesn't play like a rookie. Like we said that I think last year or last week, Bill, that he plays like he's a veteran. Like it's funny because there are so many times with a rookie player, and I think back to like TJ Oshie, Patrick Berglund, where it's like, oh my gosh, they just stick handled too much. They got themselves out of position. I don't think I've ever said that about Snuggerud. I'm like, he's always where he needs to be. He's such a smart player. He gets himself open. He crashes the net when he needs to. He knows how to work the power play. Like, he's just, his hockey IQ to me is off the charts. And I think that is what is going to drive him to be possibly a Calder winner, as Jeremy Rutherford has said on this show.
Rutherford called that, like said it was going to be between him and Demidov, and Demidov got his first tonight. Oh my God. Bell Center was rocking. It was a thing of beauty.
I bet.
But yeah, you know, Montgomery, you know, they quoted Montgomery about in the game yesterday, where they asked, you know, why did you put him down on the third line? You know, and he's like, I'm moving him around because he's the guy that's bringing the energy, right? It's not a demotion. I'm looking for other people to get sparked, and yeah, he's looked great.
Yeah, and I think so. You know, one thing we've not mentioned yet is the shift in line. So obviously the Blues went into the Minnesota game with certain lines, and it was kind of, you know, I think more so this year than previous seasons. We kind of thought they're going to stick with this because, you know, that second line is so good, that first line is so dynamic, and, you know, then your fourth line, you know, except for injury, you know, they look like they're going to be pretty good. So the third line is going to have to stay the same. But, you know, when they just faltered in that first game, you had to start making some changes, and it's benefited both players. The biggest change they made, and I think we even talked about this, Bill, that Jake Neighbours has looked good on the first line with Robert Thomas in previous seasons. And so lo and behold, what do? They switch Neighbours and Snuggerud, and in Calgary, Jake Neighbours benefits 2 goals. In Vancouver, Snuggerud benefits 2 goals. So clearly that has worked, and I think it's been a nice shift. And I think it's something that, I'm not saying that it's something we'll stick with all season, but I think we're going to see, you know, that kind of shift happen when it's like, okay, the Blues need something to get going. Okay, let's just swap those two, because both players fill in well on both lines, and they both bring a different dynamic to the line. So for me, you know, seeing Snuggerud just absolutely dominating this game, and I thought he looked really well with Suter as well. I just think he has looked very good in these first 2 road games. I'll say it's almost like when I talk about this team, I want to throw out the first game of the season, but I know we can't really do that because it's small sample size. It's only been 3 games.
Do you know the deserve to win meter? What it reads for the Vancouver game?
What does it have?
Take it 60% to 40. Blues over Vancouver, and
How many times
also
did you run it
just once.
Okay.
Should run it again. And the second period this season for the Blues, shots on goal, they're averaging almost 15 shots on net. They have 44 shots on goal in the second period this season. So
wow,
yeah.
Second period has been a struggle for the Blues in the past. So
not through 3 games. I mean, first game they didn't. They gave up a couple, but they played well in the second period. I thought for the first half of it anyway. They really took it to Calgary on the shots on goal department anyway. So yeah, 44
Justin
shots on
Scott,
goal.
that's a great point to bring up. Justin Scott, he says Suter, Snuggie, and Joseph were fantastic. Yeah, I said Suter and Snuggie look good together, but Joseph has looked really good on that line too. That was the Suter goal in game 2 when he was crashing the net and got absolutely rocked right in front of the net. But I was like, hey, that's what we need Joseph to do. So seeing him kind of take one for the team there was fantastic.
Yeah, that looks like just a line that couldn't possibly have had chemistry, that it's just naturally there. They look absolutely great. You know, the other guy that I'd call out in the Vancouver game, was Bukestad, right? I wasn't a big fan of the first 2 games, but man, he was driving play, drove a lot of shots, and as you got in the outline, scored a goal, tip in of the Walker 1-timer.
Yeah, and that was kind of a hilarious tip, right? Because I don't know, maybe he did intentionally, but when that shot came, it looked like Walker put it in, but Bukestad was going down, he was getting hit, and what did it go off his foot? What did it go off of? I never even saw what it actually hit, but it hit him at some point.
I thought the
went in
replay was.
net.
I thought the replays on that were horrible. You couldn't tell.
I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, they didn't slow it down enough or to show you what actually happened.
Yep. Well, so good. I'm glad you guys didn't notice it either. But he was clearly at least semi-vertical when that puck went in the net, and it's like, hey, you know what? Again, driving the net. Getting a good tip in front. And yeah, and I'll agree with Justin Scott here. He says there was not a bad player in Game 3. I agree. I think the whole team, including Tyler Tucker and Logan Mailloux, looked pretty good in this game. So no complaints from what we saw.
Let's take a look at the stat card, shall we?
Let's do it. We shall.
Let's give some more love to Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah. Let's make sure that because we could be wrong. If the analytics say that somebody played bad, then we're going to have to say, yeah, they played bad.
Snuggerud was off the charts pretty much in this game. Him and Suter played quite well, according to the stat card. And really, all the Blues were all positive and no negative up until you get to Mailloux, who had a good game. It was a good game, solid game for him. Fowler not as good defensively, and Thomas had the worst game of the Blues crew. He very little offensive punch and liability defensively in this game.
Yeah, his face-off, that was one of the numbers I think they, in a couple of the games that they've thrown out so far, like the Blues got dominated in several periods in the face-offs, and that's something that he's got to lead this team on.
Yeah, it's crazy if you look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Top 12 Blues players have no negatives to their game in this game. They were all, everything's positive, offense and defense, all shooting off the chart on the right side.
I was laughing at the first game because the first player, I can't remember who it was, but somebody got like a 1.5 as the top Blues player. The second best player was with the Blues was Nathan Walker at like a 0.45. And I'm like, when your second best player doesn't even get to 0.5, that's a bad sign.
Yeah. How good is Nathan Walker? How fun is he to watch? Nathan Walker's awesome. Love Nathan Walker.
Yeah.
Is there a Blues fan out there that doesn't like the guy? I mean, really?
My brother for a while.
Really?
I was a little upset with my brother for a while because he used to say, what does he even do? What's the point of him? And I'm like, do you watch the games? Like, he's an excellent fourth liner. It's exactly what you want in a fourth liner. And he's coming around now. And I think it's funny too, because I saw his son, my nephew, who's not really been a big hockey fan the last couple of years, but now that his dad has season tickets, he's going to the games and watching a little more. So I did ask him on Saturday. I said, so right now, who would you say is your favorite Blues player? And he said, Nathan Walker. And I was like, oh, so you're a smarter hockey fan than your father. And he's like, yeah, he's like, Dad is starting to realize how good of a player he is. And I'm like, good. I've been drilling that in his head for 2 years now.
Yeah. Nathan Walker's first couple of years here, he was in and out of the lineup, up and down from Springfield, right? But he has found a nice slot. I think he's found his groove. He'll be in the lineup way more than he's not, I'd imagine. So
when they signed him to the extension, I was ecstatic.
Me too.
Yeah. I thought he could have been one of the odd men out with them. Trying to go youth this season. Like if Dvorsky really made a push for the team, I was worried about him, but it probably would have been somebody like Bukestad instead.
So I wanted to call out something on this. So we have complained in the past about Jordan Kyrou's play. Well deserved to call out some of the things he's done in the past.
Exactly.
He made a play in this game on the second goal.
Oh yeah.
That might be my favorite play he's ever made. He's had some sick goals in the past, But the way that he read the play on this, it just showed me that he is paying attention. He's not just shoveling pucks to the net because he knows he has to. So for those that may not remember it or didn't see it, he had a partial break, and he came in and had a chance to take a shot, but I think he realized I've got trailers coming behind me. So he literally gets in a shooting position and then kind of circles his body to the right side of the net. And here comes Braden Shen coming right down Broadway, and he slides a perfect pass to Shen. Shen puts it behind the goalie. Perfect, beautiful goal. And I just thought, what a heads-up, smart play by Jordan Kyrou to realize the better opportunity was to peel off and find your teammate who is streaking in right down the slot.
I'm going to say this about that play. Ended up being a nice play. However, I forgot who the defensive player was. The pass should have been broken up.
It should have. He got a touch.
Yeah, he had it and went under his blade, basically. And if he stops it like he probably should have, and just flips it up away out of danger, then you're probably hearing a lot of "God damn it, Kyrou! You come in, you got his chance, you curl and you give it away."
Yeah, no, I think what I've seen from him, not just that play, but he's shown maturity this year, playing well on the defensive side of the puck. I've noticed him on back checks a few times. So once he starts scoring goals, once that line gets going, look out, right? Because that's they got that goal last night. I'm looking for a huge game from them against Chicago tomorrow.
Drew O'Connor, by the way, was the defensive player on that play. Yeah, and I agree. I thought the same thing. But, I know that there's a chance that when that happens, maybe I do turn around and say, "What are you doing?" But I like the play, though. I looked at it and I said, that was you would never expect that from Jordan Kyrou, which is why I like it.
I think it was the right decision because I think he wasn't in the best position to take a shot of where he was. He tried to curl and look for the better play, which is fine. It worked out. But I think he's going to get plenty of chances, plenty of shots, and that's not really the way he's going to score a lot of goals either on that kind of play. He's a kind of rip it guy. So
we got a couple comments here commenting on Jordan Kyrou. D Brown SS says, "I think Kyrou has been playing bigger too." Matt Harris says Jordan Kyrou is playing like a leader man, insane. And Joe Schmo adds, "Kyrou's playing great, fantastic energy." Yeah, it's again small sample size. We were not a fan of his play mostly in the playoffs, but maybe he did something different this summer. Maybe he's worked on his game a little bit. We'll see. I know that the talk has been, can Jordan Kyrou get 50 points? Or 50 goals? Can he score 100 points? Maybe that talk has actually led to him trying to be a slightly different player so he can reach those milestones. But what we've seen so far this year, and honestly, even in game one, I thought he was one of the Blues' better players. He had a couple chances in front with a few guys that actually had a couple chances on Gustafsson. So overall, I will give first 3 games, Jordan Kyrou, you get an A+ from me. I think he's looked very good to open the season. So the other thing that I thought was funny, and we kind of already talked about this. So the last 2 games, so on the road so far this year, the Blues have given up 4 goals. However, they've only been scored on by 2 players, Matt Coronado and Kiefer Sherwood. Very odd statistic. It means nothing, but I just thought that's a very funny statistic that they've given up 4 goals, but only 2 goal scorers in that time.
Yeah, but throw in the Minnesota game, and you've got 3 straight games where they've allowed 1 player on the opposition to score 2 goals.
That's true.
Maybe there are some lessons to be learned here.
Maybe. Keep an eye on some of those guys. So a quick look into the special teams so far. Right now, I don't think we can. I mean, again, it's small, and I'll stop saying that phrase, I swear, small sample size. But I think, looking at it in little 3-game increments is okay, especially to open a season. Power play, they're at 22.2%. They are 2 for 9. That's tied for 10th in the league, at least going into tonight. I know there's some games tonight that might have changed that, but this morning they were tied for 10th. And then penalty kill, they're at 80%. They've killed 8 of 10 penalties, and that is tied for 16th in the league. So penalty kill, maybe you want that to be a little bit stronger, but overall, that's right there in the middle of the entire league at 32 teams. So I think they've looked okay. I've liked their power play movement. Bill, I think the biggest thing they're missing is Oscar Sundqvist on that second unit. I don't know if you agree with that, but what are your thoughts? Do they need Oscar Sundqvist?
I think you should fuck off and die.
Okay.
Write it down.
Well,
Write it down.
I am.
Well, they always say you're looking to be, you should be very happy with your special teams if you're at 110% total when they combine the two, and we're at 102.2. So, yeah, PK needs to be a little better. But again, 10 chances. We're so early in this. It's
yeah.
Right. Well, and we talk about ratings right now. And again, this is not including tonight's games. I know Minnesota's power play, we talked about that earlier. They're at like 47.1%. It's like, that is a pace they will, if they keep that up, they will win the Stanley Cup. There's no
state
way.
Record. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a new state record. And Matt Harris, small sample size, was actually my nickname in high school.
Yeah, I was gonna make that joke about Jeff.
Well,
our odds of making the playoffs. You guys want to 54.2%.
How about that?
Just so you know, and our odds of winning the Stanley Cup 1.6%.
Yeah,
moneypuck.com.
So the odds of making the playoffs, we can realistically talk trade deadline, right?
That's right.
As long as it stays above 50%.
It was brought up.
So
right,
I want to point out, I would imagine
it.
most of my listeners here on Let's Go Blues Radio, or I'm sorry, most of my listeners on Let's Go Blues Minute are likely also Let's Go Blues Radio listeners. So I'll just say this, that after the Blues lost game, the first game, I said something about I opened the show talking about how the Blues are outside of the playoff picture and how Dallas and Colorado are, 1 and 2, and the Blues hope to make the playoffs. They need to get more than 0 wins. Completely stupid joke, right? I had somebody giving me trouble that I let that joke go on for too long. I thought I was listening to an old episode. Come on. And I'm just like, if you listen to me, you know to never take me seriously. Come on.
Right. And if you listen to Jeff, you know that he likes to talk a long time about certain things. And sometimes he takes a joke too far, and you just got to put up with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never do that on this show. And yeah, I like what you will highlight it again real quick. Ace says 6-on-5, 2 games in a row has been awesome. Yeah, and that so that was a question we had in our season preview show was, have you guys seen that they've been working on the 6-on-5? And we're like, well, at this point it's training camp. You don't do that with guys that are not going to be here in the regular season.
Right.
I do think, and again, I've not been to practices since. I am going to bet that has been a focus from Jim Montgomery, is working on the 6-on-5. And I'll just say this, it's not because the goalies have been spectacular. I mean, they've been good, don't get me wrong, in both those 6-on-5 situations. But I think the team has played better 6-on-5. You're not seeing, how many backdoor crazy chances did we see teams score on? Because I think of the Brock Besser Vancouver goal in that game, and was that February or March when he just came down the right wing boards. No one picked him up. He had a clear lane at Binnington and scored with like a second left. You're not, again, only 2 games we've seen 6-on-5, but we have not seen anything close to resembling that at this point in the season. I think that is a great improvement from what we saw.
Yeah. You want to talk about improvement from last year. Pavel Buchnevich last night chipped the puck at center. He didn't shoot for the empty net.
Yeah.
That's
painful.
th-
It's
that's
painful. It's painful.
I'm still angry about it. I can't. Every time he does something wrong, I'm just like, surprise, Pavel Buchnevich fucked that one up.
Wasn't just him. There was about half a dozen plays there that just didn't go the Blues' way, and everything fell Winnipeg's way, and it had to. That was just a series. The Blues were not meant to win that game. It was fate was just apparently not on their side.
Well, it was just stupid mistakes too.
Just like just two sticks slapping at a puck happens to go Winnipeg's way. Doesn't get out of the zone. Stays in. Stuff like that.
There is no way this is correct, right? Ace says someone told me that Monty has the worst record of active coaches. I don't know if that's true. That cannot be true.
Active coaches in what situation?
NHL coaches, I would think.
Well, that's not true at all.
No, he's probably got one of the best.
Yeah, he coached Boston to the President's Trophy. That wasn't it 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and he probably should have won last year.
And he had a great record with the Blues last year. Here,
yeah. All right, I got to see active NHL coach.
Well, you're doing that.
In Dallas, he had good records in Dallas.
Yeah. Speaking of Dallas, Minnesota just got a power play goal against Dallas, so they're now what 60% for the year. I'm trying to figure out.
So Ace is saying it's on a 6-on-5. I don't know how you look that up, Jeff.
Yeah, that's
so Montgomery's team's at 6-on-5. He has like the worst 6-on-5 numbers.
Oh, I don't have any idea how you can look that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
All right.
That's why I meant Ace. Yeah. The worst. So you're saying Montgomery has the worst 6-on-5 record in the NHL for a head coach.
I don't know how you could even measure that.
I'm sure they have those numbers, but
well, that's above my pay grade.
I don't know how you'd look it up. Yeah, that's a very, very specific and odd stat. It's not, you're not going to find that on NHL.com.
No, not at all. And they've got pretty good advanced stats now. And yeah, there's no way for us to look. You'd have to dig very deep to find that.
You can't just look up empty netters, though, Joe Schmo says, because a successful 6-on-4, 6-on-5, when you're killing it, right? Yeah. When the other team pulls their goalie, you don't have to be successful to score an empty net goal. You can be successful by not allowing one. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that lead, or pot one yourself. I mean, either way, but still.
Yep. Well, next up for the Blues, tomorrow night, Chicago. I will be there. It's a late start at 8:30. So anyone else will be there, please let me know. I'll be I'm right behind Binnington twice. I want to say 104. I could be wrong. When I walk outside, I see the band playing. So yeah, anyone wants to meet up, let me know. Social media. And then Saturday, October 18th, they play 6 o'clock versus the Dallas Stars. Tuesday, October 21st, they will play at 7.
I will be there Saturday.
Nice. Okay. Yep. You know where you're sitting?
315, row 1. Right.
Nice.
My daughter wanted to sit upper bowl, first row. So we got
those are my favorite seats. Honestly,
they're fun
in the entire bowl.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Good view. Good angle.
Yep. My dad's friend used to have tickets there, and I remember every time my dad would get asked, "Oh, do you guys want to go to the game tonight, you and your son?" And my dad would always be like, "Well, I don't want to, but I know he'll want to, so yes." So, old dads didn't want to go drive around late at night because they were old. I'm not like that. Any chance I get to go to a Blues game, I'm like, heck yes, let's go. Yeah, Keith Price. He said use AI, and then he says Google Gemini is unable to decipher the 6-on-5 data. Never trust AI with this stuff. Public service announcement for somebody who works very closely with AI, because I have been tasked by people to kind of learn how to properly prompt AI. It is wrong as much as it is right.
Yeah.
So folks, please do not go by what AI tells you.
Even I guess it's Gemini, when you search for results and the first item is an AI response, you have to double check that with an actual legit source, because that's wrong sometimes. I mean, it's just, you can't, it's sourcing the internet for its answers. And
which the internet is known to not have correct answers.
yeah,
anywhere.
you gotta, it's I mean, I don't know. AI is kind of, I love and hate AI at the same time. I understand there are some great benefits to it, but it is unreliable in a lot of ways, and it's scary.
I will
in
tell
other
you
ways.
the work that I do. I will just flat out say that AI is not ready for human consumption. I think
No.
it was released because it's an exciting product and it's going to change the world one day. But I just think right now it's not there. And it's as much as we want it to be.
It's so much better than it was like 5 years ago, though. Like 5 years ago, it's like it was nothing, and now it's just like it's everywhere. I mean, within the last 4 or 5 months, it's all of a sudden everywhere. And in 5 years from now, it's going to be. My kids and I were talking about a AI prompt a computer that they were training, and they wanted to shut it down for the day, and it refused to shut itself off because it knew it was basically turning itself off.
Yep.
It didn't want to shut down.
Yeah, there was something that came out where they basically, if you ask it like, hey, is AI ever going to rule over, humans? It'll say, oh, of course not. No, blah, 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 blah. But if you prompt it enough and you give it enough criteria and say, well, in this situation, this happens, then that happens, then this happens, it'll come back. And apparently it did tell some scientists once, like, yeah, in that scenario, yes, we would take over control of the human race.
Well, I mean, it's referencing Terminator at that point.
Right. Yes.
Those movies.
Yeah, and here we go. D. Brown SS jumps in. Skynet. Yep. 100%.
What's the date it became self-aware? I forgot the date they say.
It's close to around now, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
I thought it was. Look it up.
Ask AI when Skynet became self-aware.
It never did.
Okay. I'm way off.
It's a lie.
It was August 29th, 1997.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
1997.
No.
That's the year the movie came out, right? Not the year
but
of the
it
actual.
says that's apparently when it became self-aware.
Okay.
Terminator came out in 1984.
Yeah, the first one.
Terminator.
Yeah.
I don't know, but okay, yeah. But did they mention that in the first one, or was it like the third one or fourth one?
I don't know.
I haven't seen the.
You'll have to tune into my Terminator podcast to find that out. So check that out.
Such good movies.
All right. So again, Kurt will be at the game on Saturday. I'll be there tomorrow. And then Tuesday, October 21st, they play the Kings at home. And then Thursday, they play at 7:00 against the Mammoth, which I have only seen one Mammoth game. And we talked about this last week with the whole Mammoth debacle with the Mammoth Hockey Company. They were wearing their jerseys last season. Have they worn the Mammoth jerseys?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have.
Okay, I watched the game. I think they played the Blackhawks, and they were wearing their Utah jerseys.
Was it really? That was last night.
I'm fairly confident.
You would think they'd be wearing them until they absolutely weren't allowed to.
Hang on, I'm going to try to look it up. Let's see.
Because nothing's come down yet saying they couldn't wear them. I mean, the papers have been filed, right? But nothing's been decided.
Right. But they could get an injunction, right? Mammoth Hockey LLC could get an injunction to keep them from wearing it. But the one thing I will say is that we're a little confident that the Blues are going to do pretty well against the Blackhawks. Blackhawks looked good last night against them, even though we can't remember what jersey they wore.
Yeah, they're here. Let me pull this up. They were wearing their. Yeah, you can see it. They were wearing. God, why does it do that? There we go.
AI.
Yeah, you can see they're wearing their Utah jerseys. So. But anywho, so that'll be that's the Blues' upcoming schedule. So we'll probably have a game a show next Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I've currently got the. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. I just want to mention before we get too much past this. So seeing if the Blues in their new jerseys for the first few games, and all the people saying that the white jersey numbers needed an outline. Seeing them on the ice in the game I don't think they do. I don't think they
look fine
at all. I think they look very good. I mean, would an outline look good? Probably, yes. But I think they don't look bad at all. I think they look great. I wouldn't say the outline would look better even. I think it looks really, really good.
The outline, I said this last year, the outline will give them an easy tweak just to make it look a little different and sell some other jerseys.
And maybe that's the case, but I really do like the simplicity of the numbers, which they've never had like this. And I really do like it as a nice change of pace for the Blues. Just a simplified, classic looking jersey.
Yeah, I saw somebody say that their jerseys look simplistic and like practice jerseys, and I'm like,
no,
because of the numbers. I mean, the rest of the jersey is incredible.
I mean, we went over this. There are like 6 or 8 teams in the NHL that have, numbers and no outlines, and they look really good. I have no issue with those. Mike Leon.
Yep.
Whoa, those bicep curls are paying off, Jeff.
Thank you. He knows. He sees me in the locker room, so he knows. We've got so I've got a little just for NHL around the NHL rapid fire tidbits for us currently, and I need to check that this is still correct now. The Carolina Hurricanes. It's not. Who's the team that's not?
Seattle lost to Montreal.
Seattle lost to Montreal tonight, so there's only 2 remaining undefeated teams, and that is the Carolina Hurricanes, who are 2-0 with a +4 game differential, and then the Dallas Stars are 2-0 with a +2 goal differential. Seattle was 2-0, but as Bill said, they did lose to Montreal tonight, so they are no longer undefeated. Carolina, Dallas, upcoming schedules. Carolina's got San Jose tonight, Anaheim, and then the Kings all on the road. The Stars have Minnesota tonight, and then Vancouver, and then at St. Louis on Saturday. Gentlemen, which team remains undefeated longer?
Ooh, I think I'm going to go well, they're both going to win tonight. 4-1 Hurricanes over Sharks with 18 minutes to go. 3-1 Stars over Wild, 9 minutes to go. So I think foregone conclusion there. I think without looking at the schedule, I'm going to go Dallas.
What was the question?
Between Dallas and Carolina.
I thought you were like
undefeated the longest.
Well, I thought you were thinking deeply.
Who's going to be the longest?
What should I say?
The longest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which one will be the last undefeated team?
Okay. Let's And what's the Carolina San Jose score tonight?
4-1.
4-1 over San Jose. They're in the
Carolina.
Yeah, looking at that schedule, because you put it in there for us. Yeah, Carolina.
I think so. I think Blues beat Dallas on Saturday. So
because I'm going to be there.
Carolina.
I'm going to be there. So
yeah, well, yeah, they're going to win. They're going to be like, let's go Blues radio guys here. We got to.
He's in the first row upper deck. I mean, that's
look at him. He's right there.
Of course, we're going to win that game.
Yep, I agree. And let's see, we've got Mike Leon. I love that we have a plus differential after losing by 5 in that garbage opener. Yeah, Leon and I were texting during that game, and we were both very upset. But things happen.
So the first half of the season, if we count the first game and a half, Blues not so good. Second half of the season, last game and a half, very good.
Yes.
So
they found their game for sure.
They did. So I mean, hopefully they keep this up. Let's go on a roll.
Kurt, you're getting a question from Justin Scott here. Can I come say hi if I go? Tell him
Yeah, just don't make it weird, man.
I met Justin and his well, he says it was his mom, but I'm pretty sure it was his younger sister. I met them at a blues practice last year, and Justin is as nice as he comes off on social media, as well as his younger sister.
So he's a dick.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow,
All
Jeff.
right. Hey, you're the one that said it.
I'm joking. Good Lord.
You're the one that said it. All right. Anything else to add, guys?
Nope, I think we beat this horse to death and kept beating him for a while after.
Mike Leon.
Okay.
No elongated hugs, Justin.
2
seconds tops.
Yes. Yeah, don't hug like me.
Yeah.
Leon knows how I hug.
To 3-4 seconds, I'm like, elongated.
Okay, too long. All right. Well, thanks to our incredible sponsor, strikewithmike.com, as well as 60pickleball.com. That will wrap up episode 3 of season 15 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And we don't normally mention this, but I'll go ahead and say, if you don't know, we've got a new revamped site over at letsgoblues.com, so make sure you check that out. It is a beaut. Kurt did some very nice work on that, and we've got plenty of stuff up there for you to check out to kind of learn more about the show and hear our thoughts and find our favorite episodes, that kind of thing. So check that out, letsgoblues.com. Ace wants to give us a shout out. He says, great job, gentlemen, in chat. Let's go Blues. That's right. For Kurt Price and Bill Day, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
I'm a happy idiot. Let's go Blues.
We got to watch Nazem Kadri lose a game, so that was always fun. Let's go Blues.
Longest exit ever.
TV talking St. Louis Blues hockey, moving fast, can't catch the beat. Skates on fire, ice on defeat.